So what is going on with our healthcare? Are we going to continue to be penalized for not having any? Are premiums going to rise or are they going to fall? Well, we have to wait and see because Republicans seem to have no idea what they are doing. There is also a bill that just passed the Senate and is being put forth through the House that will allow internet providers to sell our web browsing history. Well, that doesn't sound too good on the surface. Also, Neil Gorsuch is in the process of being confirmed. I'm ready to have the full 9 justices on the court again. This even number stuff is just getting annoying. I'm Hunter.
I'm Darian.
And this is the Hunter and Darian Show.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news. There was recently a shooting at the Cameo Club in Cincinnati, Ohio. One person was killed, sadly, and 15 people were wounded.
Yeah, what happened there was it seemed there was a misunderstanding between a group of people, and a gun was pulled, and some people were were trapped in the crossfire, resulting in one person killed and 15 people wounded. And from what I know is that people are still at large, so hopefully pretty soon to get those people behind bars.
Yeah, most definitely. So kind of like thing I thought was kind of cool that happened there. There was a lady who unfortunately was shot in the leg, and she actually drove herself to the hospital after that. So that's pretty impressive, pretty tough.
Yeah, tough woman.
Yeah, in other news, as many of you know, Neil Gorsuch is trying to become one of our next Supreme Court justices. Recently, the Senate Democrats on the Judiciary Committee were asked for and were granted a 1-week delay on the vote to approve sending the Supreme Court nomination of him to the Senate floor. So yeah, I mean, who knows when that's going to be done. It seems that the Democrats are trying to delay this as much as they can at the moment. So hopefully this will be over with soon.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Neil Gorsuch just become the next Supreme Court justice. Honestly, I know that it's, even if you don't agree with him, if you're as left as they come, it's just nobody. If you want to see a liberal justice get appointed during a Trump administration, you're going to have to move to La La Land because that's not going to happen. So if you want to go back to our traditional constitutional 9 justices, then, well, I guess not it wasn't anyway, the normal 9 justices, then we need to put Gorsuch in there. And if the Democrats want to continue to filibuster, then it's never going to happen.
Other news, the House has recently delayed the healthcare vote.
Yeah, so there just wasn't enough support. Trump said that we were just probably anywhere from 10 to 15 votes short, Trump said. And then he says, with no Democrat support, we just couldn't quite get it there. With no Democrat support, there's obviously not quite a few, but definitely a good clump of Republicans that don't want this, that didn't agree with this healthcare bill. It really had a lot of flaws to it, as we talked in previous episodes. It's definitely not a great looking bill. It doesn't really get rid of the things that people didn't like about Obamacare, so it's really no surprise that this is not going to be pushed through and that it was pulled before there was even a vote.
Yeah, to quote President Trump, he said, quote, "We were just probably anywhere from 10 to 15 votes," end quote, which doesn't seem to be true considering at least 30 Republicans said they opposed the bill. Another thing that the president said was, quote, "With no Democrat support, we couldn't quite get there," end quote. I mean, what does he expect? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you have Republicans being the majority in every single branch right now in the White House that he's saying he's depending on Republican support. I'm sorry, that he's depending on Democrat support. And then also, there are many concerns that millions of Americans lose coverage. Overall, it seems to have been a very flawed replacement so far, so I'm kind of glad it didn't pass yet.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see some Republicans get together and put together a really good bill. Obviously, no bill is going to be some bipartisan agreement, but something that's better and with some more approval ratings than we're seeing with these ones. And obviously, the argument that millions of Americans are going to lose coverage, I believe that any Republican healthcare bill is going to cause millions of Americans to lose healthcare coverage, and the reason that is because Republicans aren't going to make it mandatory, or they shouldn't at least, if they stick to their conservative values, make it a requirement to be on healthcare. And if they're not making it a requirement, obviously many people are going to lose their coverage because a lot of people don't even want healthcare in the first place, which I believe is their right. But that's obviously up to different arguments and up to different perspectives on how you believe that.
And here's on a more lighthearted note, Neil Gorsuch was asked kind of a humorous question at one of his hearings, so we're just going to play that for you guys here real quick.
My family's been texting me throughout this process, asking me to ask questions that they would ask. I ask a few of them, for suggestions, and my son Dallin, a teenager, said, ask him if he would rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck. I'd never heard it either. Apparently, it was a question on Reddit a while ago. But anyway, that's where it's going from here, I think.
You can tell him I'm very rarely at a loss for words.
Okay, all right.
But you got me.
I will tell him a teenager stumped you there. If you've ever worn gyms.
Yeah, so, it's nice to see some humor in politics for a change. It's often a very bleak subject, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
That question actually has been asked on Reddit before. I know they asked Gary Johnson that, and Gary Johnson's answer was that he'd rather fight one horse-sized duck. Fun fact for those of you who wanted to know.
I'm not sure, honestly, if I'd fight I feel like I'd take on the little horses because you could just kind of kick them, just
Maybe, hopefully.
It's just a nuts question, honestly.
Yeah, I'd probably fight the duck, and then maybe I don't know. This isn't telling you if you had a weapon or anything or not. But if you had a weapon, I think the duck would be pretty doable. Get a quick shot.
Yeah, that big duck.
Get a quick stab.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, but yeah, Reddit's pretty great. That guy's son is clearly a good Dank memer. So
yeah, that's maybe when we have kids and they get older, that's all politics will be is Reddit questions.
Probably.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is this bill that will allow telecom companies to sell your private internet history, or allegedly it's not really alleged. That's pretty much what it's saying it's going to do. So this bill is the lead Senate sponsor is Jeff Flake from Arizona, which is where we are at Arizona State. Oh, Jeff. Okay. And the lead representative sponsor is Marsha Blackburn. Yeah, Marsha Blackburn. She is. So yeah, those are the two sponsors.
Got to put her on the black burner.
Yeah.
For this one.
Put her on the black burner. So one of the things that is in support of this bill is from an article that will be in the description down below. It says, Internet service provider companies also contended that the FCC rules have placed them at a disadvantage with other non-ISP internet companies that also collect user data like Netflix or Facebook. So what this means, that kind of sounds like gibberish, but what that means is basically internet service providers are currently not allowed to use your private information or our information of our web browsing history is treated as if it's like a medical document or financial document. So they can't use that they can't use that for anything. That's our private information. But non-ISP internet providers or like websites such as Netflix or Facebook, they can use that kind of information due to their like size and availability. So like if you notice, if you're on Facebook, down the side there's like the ads that tells you what you should buy on Amazon based on what you looked at recently, and on Netflix it does that same thing with what you recently watched. So basically what this is saying is if you're gonna you should do it because it's now letting the small internet providers use your web histories to compete with Netflix and Facebook. Now the counter argument to that is that this is just an obstruction of privacy. All your information that you search on the web should be private. It shouldn't be up to debate whether we could see this from this website, but this website can't see your web search history. It's basically saying that it should all be private, which is I would say that privacy is key, and I think that as an American we should have the right to be private in what we search on the internet, and it goes back to the Constitution with unreasonable search and seizures, that kind of deal. So I would say that.
I'd agree with that. I think privacy is important. I think it's an important civil liberty. Fun fact, our favorite senator, Ted Cruz, actually was one of these people who voted for this bill, and he was being funded thousands of dollars by Verizon while doing so. And I remember that's interesting because I remember him claiming that he was a champion of civil liberties and trying to appeal to libertarians when he was running for the Republican nomination. Hypocrisy? I think so.
Yeah, it had a lot of Republican support. Like I don't believe any Democrats voted for it, which is I don't
totally agree with them.
Yeah, I don't.
Personally.
I rarely find myself siding with Democrats for the most part, but this is a part. It's definitely a. It puts me on the edge.
Only 2 Republican senators didn't vote to pass for it. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
So yeah, that's definitely and there's been a lot of talk about that bill actually just online by like H3. H3 released a video about it, and a bunch of other parties online have been talking about this, and so it's gaining a lot of worldwide like popularity and stuff, even though to people that don't even really care for politics are talking about this bill. I've seen it personally on Facebook from people I would never think talk politics, and this comes up.
On to anything and everything. So Hunter and I actually, so we're both in a political debate club here at our school. which is, can be quite a bit of fun. Obviously, for obvious reasons, there's quite a bit of left bias in there, seeing as most kids our age are leftists, and we're at an American university.
True.
An American public university too. But we're excited. That should be really interesting.
Yeah. So this next club coming up, we're going to talk about institutional racism and white privilege. So we're gonna.
Yeah.
It's going to be us versus the world here.
Yeah, maybe we'll record some stuff. We don't know yet. If we have anything cool to share, we'll share it with you guys.
If we can get a camera in there to record us, then we could definitely put some of that in one of our future podcasts here. But
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
something cool that happened just recently, I just figured this out, is me and Darian are going to get to be roommates next semester. We found a
we're
place.
pretty excited.
Yeah, we found a place to live for the next semester coming up, and it's going to be pretty cool. Because currently we actually don't live together. My roommate is a cool dude, but he's going to be living with some other people. So me and Darian are going to be sharing a casa next semester. Fun. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, normally we do the Dank meme of the show. Today we just, thought, hey, why not? We'll do a video. I found something funny.
And the video is pretty much a meme, so it's pretty cool.
Basically is. So we'll go ahead and watch that right now.
From the United States. Congratulations to the Thunder. We have to move on to an audience question.
Huh? Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said. Oh. And all these hoes laughing like so funny.
She's talking about the audience that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. I found it to be pretty humorous.
Yeah, so I hope you guys keep in touch with the news this week. I hope you guys have a good week and keep it going.
Thank you guys. God bless America.